Shop Talk, baby. This is the show where it's okay to be you. We're talking from Yale to jail and from the church house to the pimp house. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, we keeps it real.
Just give me the light. Yeah. Just give me the light. Just give me the light. Turn the bar. Yeah. Just give me the light and pass the joe. What's another buckle of more? Yeah, let me know my sides and I got to know which one is gonna catch my flow. Cause I'm in on the vibes and I got my dough. What's another buckle of more? Yeah, them looking hype and I got to know. Could I be your protector? You're buffing every sector. Every man around them wants on your inspector. But you know let them threaten, I grill you with no lecture. But them for a drill, now them fuel injector. Them a infector, disease collector. Now for them I go like them walk come wreck ya. Don't know the part where you got in your center. But you know you not let them guide they affect you. Yo, girl, just give me the light and pass the joe. What's another buckle of more? Girl, let me know my sights and I got to know which one is gonna catch my flow. Come in on the vibes and I got my dough. What's another buckle of more? Girl, I'm looking up and I got to know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Situation getting really live again. Tell them what be young out with the players and the riders them beside of them. And them say them tired that the liars them. Fires and connivers and when you forget beside of them, they kind of them. Especially the money out of them. Watch you, girl, but them a try to make a bride of them denied again. Some of them a move like a Spider-Man. Tell them say them not home wide again. Yo, just give me the lights and pass the joe. What's another buckle of more? Yeah, let me know my sights and I got to know which one is gonna catch my flow. Cause I'm in the vibes and I got my dough. What's another buckle of more? Yeah, them looking hype and I got to know. Could I be your protector? You're buffing every sector. Every man around wants on your inspector. You know let them fence you like really with no lecture. But them power chill now, them fuel injector. Them my inspector, disease collector. Now for them I go like them walk on wreck ya. Don't know the part where you got in your center. But you know you now make them guys they come affect you. Yo, just give me the light and pass the joe. What's another buckle of more? Yeah, let me know my sights and I got to know which one is gonna catch my flow. Cause I got the vibes and I got my dough. What's another buckle of more? Yeah, them looking hype and I got to know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Situation getting really live again. Tell them off the young out with the players and the riders them beside of them. And them say them tired that the liars them. Fires and connivers them will never get inside of them, they kind of them. Especially the money out of them. Watch you, girl, but them a try to make a bride of them denied again. Some of them a move like a Spider-Man. Tell them say them now home
You're listening to Shop Talk with Mel. The show will start in approximately 30 seconds.
Which one is gonna catch my flow? Cause I'm in the vibes and I got the dough. Yeah, let me know my side.
Good morning to my lovely people. Welcome to Shop Talk with Mel. We are doing it today. We got a lovely show planned out for you guys. I got my boy back in the building. Art B is in the building. I'm so happy you made it back, Art.
Good morning. What's up, Mel? Good morning. How's everybody out there? What's going on? Hello, Art B. aka the host of the most. We in the building today, hanging out with Mel. How you doing?
I heard that. We ain't doing it. Let's give you a Shop Talk welcome.
What's going on, Mel? What's going on?
You know I had to get you on. I'm so happy that you were available to come on and kick it with your girl. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a good while. It's good to see you. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching. I've just been, behind the scenes, just, peeping y'all out, still supporting, putting my little comments in, seeing what y'all up to, just hearing y'all talking about everything. But I'm here. I'm still around. I'm just, busy with life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness and kids. You know how it goes.
I heard that. You said pursuit of happiness.
No doubt, no doubt.
Now, what's your pursuit? How do you go around getting that pursuit, RB?
I believe the pursuit of happiness is that it has to be something that makes you feel comfortable. It has to be something that makes, something that you and you alone knows what makes you feel good. That's what I believe the pursuit of happiness is.
Okay. You know I got to do it. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm tired, too. I blocked them also. I guess the Smiths had their pursuit of happiness as well. And they did what worked for them.
We back on this again?
Listen, I'm trying to get off of it, but it's just another and another and another. Then I end up with another point, and the end result is still the same. The chick is off the chain.
Yeah, it's really become a real snowball effect, with the slap heard around the world. Like I said before, it just affected everybody, and I feel like, in my opinion, it affected the Black Oscar culture, because the Black Oscar culture was so important for us, we only get an Oscar every 10 to 20 years, so people miss that, and when that happened, it just really just put a ripple effect in everything, because you had a lot of great actors before Will Smith that came along and was presented with that award, and that night, all you had to do was just keep your cool, Will. You was right there. You were at the pinnacle to, become a part of that great legendary club of great actors who have received that award. And you let your emotions get the best of you because you were trying to prove yourself or prove your love, and it went awry.
Do y'all do that though? Like, not in that way, but you love somebody, you want to prove your love. We see in old movies, like, I'm going to prove my love, girl. She be like, hold on, Lester.
People that do that, I feel like there's a certain way that you do it. I feel like his way, it was all the way wrong. Now, in my opinion, I feel like this. If you knew that bothered your wife, and if you are married and love the way that you say that you are, because if you look at the body language, that didn't look like love. That just looked like we're here together because of this. They show up and they put in that Hollywood thing. That's the way I look at it. But if it was such a big deal, all you had to do was just comfort your wife. You could have grabbed her hand, held her hand, rubbed her shoulders. Baby, sorry, I'll talk to him later about it.
That was so far away, though. Jeez. But what's so interesting that I noticed as this keeps going on? Mm-hmm. First, I'm going to say this. When he said, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth, and he said, okay, I will, he ain't got to, because the whole world, she in everybody's mouth now. You know what I mean? Truth be told, everybody's talking about her. But the thing for me, and I apologize, to Chris Rock at this point. At the beginning, I'm like, okay, but I apologize to him at this point because you could see it was clearly more than the slap. Like, did I forget about the slap? No, that was the first part of it, but it's so much more that's what I'm focused on. Like, this is crazy. And do I feel bad for him? Am I making the culprit the victim? No, I'm not. And I agree with you 110% because she's the one that spearheaded that whole Oscar so white, and then your husband the one that blows it when he finally get it, So
even with that conversation, I feel like it's that common G code that we grew up on. Whatever you discuss in the house should stay in the house. It shouldn't be, something that you should bring public. Whatever the situation was and whatever conversation they had, that should have stayed between them. You know what I'm saying? It should not have been made public. And, even though, okay, Chris, he thought, this is a good joke. But still, that's something that if they was in the big mansion and they was talking amongst themselves and whatever Jada's personal feelings were, should have stayed in that room. It shouldn't have been brought public. Because what people don't realize is, and it's funny, I always watch, the first 48. I call it the show for dumbest criminals, because when you nowadays, because of technology, when you put something out there, it's out there in the universe forever. It's called a digital footprint.
Forever?
forever. People got to realize that when you put that out there, it tends to be something that you're not going to get back. And so when that slap happened, that slap hit the whole world in less than, 30, 40 seconds? You know what I'm saying? Probably less than that. So when that happened, that affected the whole world. That affected each of their families. That affected the business and the things. That affected Hollywood. That affected everybody in the room because everybody was so shocked. And, affected everybody's emotions. I remember talking to my cousin Marcus. He said, man, after that happened, I couldn't sleep. I was like, really? He said, yeah, that bothered.
See, and you have different people that speak it out and saying how, like Roland Martin, I was listening to him, and I'm paraphrasing. He was like, well, I don't understand why people can't sleep or they're affected by the slap when they're not affected by our black men out there getting killed. Well, I had a problem with that because he doesn't know how that affected other people because it does affect us all. It does affect us all. Is it a wake-up call? It definitely is a wake-up call because it's almost like, we project how Will should be. Almost like Whitney Houston, America's Sweetheart. Will Smith is like the Prince of America. Every squeaky clean, you know what I'm saying? And you get to see people. See, I did. I looked at him. I was like, he's such a nice guy. I never wanted him to marry Jada Pinkett. I wanted him to be with Nia Long or Vivica Fox because, I wanted him with them. I didn't want him with Jada. I don't know why, but I guess this is it. I probably, I was looking out for him. I was like, oh, yeah, see, that's why I don't like her. But I just, I'm going to let you talk because we got to get our guests on in 1 minute. I just feel like it was a wake-up call because you don't know the stresses and people are like, you can't do this to people and blah, 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 blah. Pretty much like bullying. But here's the thing. Your household, just as you stated, stuff need to stay there inside the house. She chose to put it out there. You can't get upset with society for what is happening inside your house that is being revealed. You got to look at the source. Because we would not know. Because I was like, okay, Jada and Will, they kind of like stayed under the radar. And whoever he was kicking it with, and I'm saying alleged to protect myself and shop talk with Mel, whoever he was kicking it with, they knew how to be quiet. And they were blaming August Alsina, but he'd been saying it. And his song was out 2 to 3 years before she even came out. But a lot of people wasn't familiar with the young man until she actually admitted to it and said it. Then it was like, oh, people Googling, who is this little young guy? So she's putting all of that out there. She did she was doing a live video. I don't know what streaming outlet she was on, but she did a live video where Will actually said, don't be using me for clout because he got his own platform, for hers. And I said, okay, they just got like this thing going on. And then with Tupac and her, with her daughter writing a letter to Tupac, I was like, this just keeps unfolding and unfolding. I don't understand why her daughter, who never met him, wasn't born when he passed away, is writing a letter and is allowed to write a letter to Tupac. Are you confiding in your child? Am I questioning her parenting? No, but I'm just y'all talking. That's weird. And then I'm like, and if they would have been there, but listen, if they were meant to be, honestly, if they were meant to be, or they were together in a relationship, why weren't they in a relationship when he was alive?
I feel like this. Let's go back for a second. I feel like, Jada and Will, I feel like Hollywood, when you can just, you can watch the progression of things. I feel like when you get in Hollywood, it's like it changes you. You can tell, when you get that astronomical amount of money and you just can basically do what you want to do, it just changes you. It's like they have just become the Addams Family. They're just weird. I'm just going to say it. They're just weird, because I understand that you all are, you all are actors, and you've seen a lot of families that are actors and that have done, have been in Hollywood for years and don't act like that. Will, he all of a sudden, he's so philosophical and he has so many great quotes and he says so many great things. And I'm like this, you from Philly, bro. You used to just quote rap lyrics.
That's mean to say. We're gonna continue this button. Let me write this down right now. Y'all gotta excuse me. Y'all know, this how it goes down in the studio. We like, look, we out on here with the social media because of COVID. Yeah. I can't wait to get back in the studio. I gotta write this down because we're gonna have to come back because we have a phenomenal guest today. Oh, yes, we have a phenomenal guest today, and it is author Kim Hight. And I want to introduce her to my listening audience and the viewers properly. For those of you who don't know, she is a writer of inspirational poetry. Y'all got to check her out. She believes in taking a realistic approach to life. Now, that I can vouch for. I can definitely vouch for that. You know Kim, right? Kim Hight?
I know her brother. I don't know her personally, but I do know David.
Okay, yeah. Well, we can't talk about Dave on here because we're talking about Kim. So let's focus on Kim, the author.
I know David. I don't know Kim. But
she is amazing. She is absolutely amazing. And I actually knew Kim before Dave. Okay. So, all right. We ain't talking about him. We talking about Kim. Her moment to shine, okay?
All Kim.
Kim, yes. It's all about Kim. It's all about Kim. She does have a passion for youth, and she used to do the early in the morning, people like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, she'd pray for the youth. She'd be like, it's time, spiritual gangsters. I used to try to be coming on, and yes, I meant to say that, try to be, because it'd be early in the morning, my speech ain't right yet, okay.
The key word is try.
Yes, there you go. And she's like, well, it's time to pray for our youth. I used to be like, Lord, have mercy. I'd be like, okay, but she was like diligent in that. Diligent, committed. And I was committed a little bit, I'm being honest. I mean, my heart was in the right place. Mm-hmm. That goes somewhere. But her passion is for youth, and as a spiritual gangster, it is her desire to go in and fight the devil for all the souls of our adolescents. And I can appreciate that 110%. Can we please give a warm welcome to our guest, Miss Kim Hight. Look, she throwing up the peace signs. I heard that. Hey, Kim, how's it going?
Awesome.
So I was reading Kim's book. Like, I bought it a while ago. Mm-hmm. This is one of my faves. This is what I was actually talking about, spiritual gangster. Listen, this cover is fire. Always thought it. And I sat there and I said, let me pick this up again. You read it when you first come out, and that's what we do with books. We're like, okay, this is new. Let's see what we have. Great. Great knowledge in this book. Wow. The poetry.
I'm going to check that out. I try to support a lot of artists, who do different things in the area, especially with black, with writings, it's like we have to support one another all the way around,
We do, and not just in the area.
And that's appeal. What's that?
And not just in the area, just period. Right. Do what you do. Yeah. But let me say this, though, and then I'm going to get back to what Kim has going on. Mm-hmm. I don't be supporting everybody because they black. Confession.
I don't either.
Confession.
You know what?
I ain't gonna lie, I don't either, but it's like this. This is the way I believe. I believe this for a long time. Yes, I support you when you don't do it 50%. I support you when you do it 100%.
There we go. There we go.
A lot of times what happens is that, I'm just going to say it, not all of our people, but some of our people, they get into business and they don't use the whole 100%. They only use 50%. And that's not how you do business. It's like, if you're going to be a business person, you got to put 100 and you got to put 1,000,000,000% effort. Because a lot of times it's like, we're the roughest on ourselves, I like this. It's like, black folks are hardest on black folks. You know what I'm saying? But in the same token, it's like, I'll support you if your package is right. If your package ain't right, I can't support you.
We can't put it in the paper bag and be like, thank you.
No, we can't put it in the paper bag. We gotta
wait, let's hear what Kim has to say. Go ahead.
That's because the Lord says you have to do it decent and in order.
All right. You better preach.
So I'll give it 110%.
And you do. And to piggyback to what Art was saying, You have those who have one business for the first quarter of the year, another business for the second. Each one is another business, and you want to keep pulling from the same source. And it's like, I don't want Jolly Ranchers this year. You know, I'm selling candies. You know, like, we got to do something different. But I don't. I support quality. I support good work. Because guess what? I work hard for my money, so you kind of know when hard work is put in. So I'm with you 110%, Artie. All right, Kim, I want to get on you where get to you and get going on your book, and you also have what's oh my goodness, what the Artie is still there. But yeah. I got you up there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a feature coming up. My boys here, Josh Smalls and Mr. Witts, they have a poetry night every Wednesday night. It's the return to say words. So I'll be featuring on that on 420. And I think it's funny that the Lord got me featuring on 420. 420! It is a hookah bar. And they usually don't be smoking in there. But my son said, oh, you might as well get ready on 420.
It's going to be a whole nother vibe.
Last time we were talking about it, I said, well, I know y'all probably want to get high, but come get some Kim Hight.
I heard that. Now, where is that at?
It's near Uptown Charlotte.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get the address for you. It's near Uptown Charlotte, and it's called Hayes Hookah Bar.
Okay.
And the address is 2408 Central Avenue, Charlotte, North Carolina. The Queen City.
That's what that is up there. How you like it? How's the weather?
Oh, my God. I'm not even going to show you all right now because every time I show my family, they get real mad at me. But my son just sent me a video and was like, why? Because it's snowing in Columbus.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a little chilly today. We, in the 50s, but we gonna be in the 80s next week. Yeah, when y'all have snow, I don't believe it because I look out my window and it's bright sunshine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we don't have that bright sunshine.
Yeah. So everybody be mad at me all the time over that.
Now, before we get into the conversation, how can we receive your books? You have 2 books out.
Yes, I have. My first book is Let Me Flow to Your Soul, and I self-published that in 2011. And then my second book is Spiritual Gangster. And I wanted to tell you, when you said go in and fight the devil for the souls of the adolescent, the reason why my picture looks like that is because I'm going and fighting mafia style.
I heard that.
Mafia style. So people say, well, spiritual gangster, that's an oxymoron. Well, that's because I'm going in fighting spiritually. So
I like it.
Yeah, during the pandemic, everything just went crazy, but I'm getting back on my feet now. And I had actually sold out of both of my books. So I'm building up my inventory, getting back out here, having interviews, doing features, and doing all kinds of stuff like that. Because during the pandemic, everything just went haywire. So I'm getting it back together now because that's the only pure joy I have is fulfilling my purpose, which is, I don't want to cry, but my passion for the youth is just ridiculous. I mean, I just watched the old episode of Law and Order last night, and at the beginning, some people had robbed the trap house, and it was 2 young boys in there playing video games, and they shot both of them. You know what I'm saying? And being from where I'm from, and not that I think my hometown is bad, because people say, well, that's why I moved to this, that, and the other, because I am from the Youngstown, Ohio.
Okay.
But people say, well, that's why I moved. Well, guess what? Guess what come on my news every day in Charlotte? Triple homicide, double homicide. It's just that the people in your hometown. So I don't think nobody is better than anybody. The crime is everywhere. But I have seen several things like that. My book is dedicated to Bryce Linebaugh. Jessica Linebaugh's son was killed down in the projects where somebody was trying to shoot at somebody else's apartment and shot the 2 apartments beside it. And he was lying in his bed and got killed at 2 o'clock in the morning. He was only 11 years old. So things like this happen all the time. that's my passion, trying to make a change. I speak at schools. I do my poems. I try to talk to our youth and try to tell them, think before you react and all kind of stuff like that. So that's my purpose. And I thank you for giving me that shout out about my spiritual gangster prayers. I still do that. I did it this morning.
Okay.
And you don't have to get up at 5 o'clock, everybody. I'm going to tell you that right now. But what I need you to do right now is go to Facebook and follow Gangster Prayers. Like Gangster Prayers. GANGSTA Prayers. And then all I do is when I get up at 5 o'clock, I say, just like I say on my page, good morning, spiritual gangsters. It's almost time for our 5 o'clock prayer. And then at 5 o'clock, I say, let us pray. And I type out a couple prayers. And then I sit there and pray for our youth. So I just ask people, if you want to support the movement, just follow the page. You can whisper a prayer anytime. You don't have to. The Lord gave me 5 o'clock because I know if I'm on vacation, wherever I am, whatever I have to do, that will be before I get my day started. So I have been doing that since I released my book in 2013.
Okay. And it's Gangster Prayers with the S?
Gangster Prayers.
Okay.
Yes. At Gangster Prayers.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Look. I'm trying to make it happen. So you are right. With this whole pandemic, trying to do this stuff all alone is like, I said, wait a minute, I need my people. Like, I just want to talk. That's
and you know, somebody technology challenged like myself, I'm like, woo.
Oh.
Way too much.
You see me over here like, okay, boom. But yeah, I'm just used to talking, keeping the conversation going, and let's go. There is, let me talk about a few of the poems that kind of got me going, that woke me up. I'll put it that way. It actually woke me up, and the names of these are really good. So you have section 1, section 2, and section 3. Now you said section 1 were for you. That's what I said. These are for me.
Well, section 1 are for the young kids, the elementary school kids.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. These poems are for me. I thought that was really cool. And what Art said, like in the first segment, we were just sitting there seeing what was going on before the show actually started. In our conversation when he was talking about the affirmations with Will Smith and his, how he talks, sounding philosophical and all that good stuff. I was thinking maybe those are for him because, there's a lot of times like I do be inspired. And a lot of time those be inspired are for me or something that I have gone through. And this is how I overcome them, and let me share it with you. Mm-hmm. So, you kind of speak to yourself and, even speaking to the youth. And he does speaking as well, Art B. And I'm going to pull him back on shortly, where we speak and we talk. And as we're talking, we're teaching ourselves as well. Mm-hmm.
Well, when I say these poems, the 1, 2, 3, these poems are for me, I was just kind of keeping it simple.
I got it.
Like,
well, they was for me.
Like 1, 2, 3, because when Art had me come to his elementary school, our team system, when he was the principal, I came in Youngstown and Kenny was the DJ. And so I have a poem.
Your son? Your son, Kenny?
Oh, yeah. Kenny, Blackout Height. What's up?
There you go.
In Hawaii, I got a new daughter-in-law. Hi, Stephanie and Kenny.
Go ahead.
He's a DJ. So he came and he DJ'd at the school with me. And I have a poem where I'm like, today we celebrate you. And it's like on my CD. Well, we don't have CDs anymore. We're going to get playlists. I'm putting I'm working on putting it on iTunes now. The man who did my video for my latest poem on YouTube, he's working on putting my CDs on iTunes now because nobody has a CD player anymore. It's about to be like an 8-track. But I do too. I have one in my car. My son was like, let it go. But if you go on, I have another business page on Facebook. It's called Poetry for Entertainment.
Okay.
Poetry for Entertainment. But on my business page, if you look a few years ago, like they were clapping and you can hear it on the CD with the beat and everything. Today, we celebrate you. We celebrate all things you do. And all the kids were jumping around and doing all that stuff. So I like to do that stuff. That's why the first section is the 1, 2, 3. These poems are for me. Because when I speak at elementary schools, I try to get them active. And I'm going around and doing stuff and doing dance moves with them. And back then,
audience participation.
And I was doing a Soldier Boy with everybody. Because, I keep up with all the dances now.
Okay.
Miss Kim can hang now.
So they enjoyed that clearly. Yeah, the audience and participation. Well, let me just go ahead. Okay, I see what's the first one is Today We Celebrate You. I like Special You.
Yeah.
I like that poem. And I also like You Are Noticed, which is so key right now. It's still, that'll be relevant forever. The other one, Keep It Real, The Bully.
Yes.
That's what we're dealing with now in society. But we're going to bring our boy RB back when we talk about that part. Because, this the whole cancel culture type. This is crazy. And then In These Streets. Now, In These Streets, that's the one that I read it. And you hear it. You know what I mean? When I read, I read From Glory to Gangs. That's what I read. And I read it when I first bought it, and I was like, yeah. And it was just like, yeah. I was in agreement. And then fast forward to now, which was what, Wednesday? Was it Wednesday, Kim, that I caught? Yeah, I read it again, and it touched me. Even though it touched me then, but it was a different kind. And it was like, wow. And that part where you guys got to get this book. But that particular, I pulled a little excerpt out of it, okay? And it says, maybe we should create RIP shirts with your picture on it while you're alive. That stood out to me.
Yes.
And it stood out to me because it stood out because it was like the RIP shirts. And I like to yell out, Shop Talk, this is a Shop Talk moment. The RIP shirts.
Yeah.
Man, listen, if something happened to me, I'm just going to put this out here. Y'all better not come to my service with my face on your shirt talking about some rest in peace mail. Don't disrespect me like that. Go ahead, Art. What you got?
I'm gonna put you on my back instead of on the front. You know how far we go back.
All right.
We go back like wave caps and lumberjacks. You know what I'm saying? With the hats to match. So I'm putting you on my back. I ain't even gonna front about it. I'm just playing.
You better have a blazer on it.
What's that?
You better have a blazer on to take it off. Go ahead, Kim.
I'm going to do you one better, Melanie. I told my family, they already know. If something happened to me, don't y'all put no wings on me on Facebook. Don't put no wings on me for at least a year. Don't be 2 days after something happened to me like,
wow.
Wings. Don't do it. Don't put them wings on me on Facebook. I'm telling you, I will haunt you.
I know that's right.
But my son and my niece, I have told them for years, one thing I want is if my homegoing service, of course, we're going to kick it. But when we step outside, I want somebody to blast. You already know. Nope, if you butt. Nope. That was crazy. Hey, that's how I want it.
All right.
But how do y'all feel? Because I'm just going to ask you, how do you feel when you see the service and they wear the T-shirts and the jeans? What's your thoughts on that?
That's fine. I think that's fine. The only reason I put that in there.
No. I want to talk about that, but I'm just talking about in general.
Oh, I think that's fine. If that's how you want to remember your family member, I think that's fine. But I put that in there because I wanted people to think, what would you do if you saw your mom with a shirt with rest in peace on and you was still alive? Do you want your mom to go through that? Like, do you want your family to go through that? Like you said in that poem, I say I'm looking at my little cousin or whatever, and he got on my rest in peace shirt, but I'm looking from the other side. Is that what you want your family to go through? So, yeah, I have no problem with that.
Okay, what's your thoughts, Art? on
I feel like
yeah.
this. I mean, I mean, that's a way to commemorate somebody. What Kim had said was just absolutely hilarious. Yeah, don't put no wings on me. No, don't put no.
You know what I mean?
Don't put no wings on me. Yeah, just it's like if that's the way that you want to remember your family. I think it's cool. But what Kim is saying is true. It's like, you know, it's really sad that we've had to do that so often. To keep putting that on T-shirts, and we shouldn't have to, And I just want to commend you for what you're doing, hearing about your book and, and just it being inspiring to young people, because we need more people like you to, we have to embrace our young people. They need to see, the mothers in the hood that really care about them. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just, and of course the black men in the hood, because I'm an advocate for young people. I love young people. I taught etiquette for years. I did inspiration, speeches and different things of that nature. But yeah, I feel like it's a personal thing. I personally don't wear no RIP shirt for me. You know what I'm saying? Keep it classy. Just when you
The repass you can rock it. At the repass you can rock it. But don't come up in church like that for me.
Well, I mean, that's, but that's how people feel. Funerals are very emotional. So that's how people grieve. That's how people deal,
Yeah.
So it depends on the person, I personally don't wear RIP shirts, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because I'm just a different sort, It's like, I want to remember you the way that you were, you know what I'm saying? And I don't really get into the whole shirt thing because I believe in, keeping it classy, and just, but people do what they do all day long. Now, all the stuff that's going on at these graveyards now, that's a totally different vibe, because people be at the graveyards going crazy now, celebrating the music and liquor and all this crazy stuff. So I just believe in keeping it, and I believe in keeping it respectful, keep it respectful. That's the main thing.
Well, let me just clarify. I'm not against rest in peace shirts at all.
Oh yeah.
I just lost my dad last year, so like, to me, I tell everybody, with grief, you have to do whatever you need to do to cope. And I always say it's an elevator of emotions.
It is.
Let me get off on what floor I need to today. If I need to laugh today, if I need to cry today, if I need to wear my T-shirt today, whatever you need to do to cope, because death sucks.
Right.
It really sucks. So.
Nobody can really tell you how to mourn. Somebody told me a long time ago, they said, no one can tell you how long to mourn, when to mourn. I still mourn my family members. I still mourn my grandmother. I still think about her. So it's all in your personal preference of how you mourn.
Well, this is what I'm going to say to both of y'all. Something happened to me. Don't wear no RIP shirts to my service. Now, you do it at the repass, whatever. But see, y'all play too much. Probably everybody in there will come in there with that.
Real big, with your face real big.
Right.
They're coming with banners. I'm gonna have one of them big heads. They be holding up at the NBA games. I'm gonna hold that one.
A bobblehead.
You know what?
Me and Mel, we go so far back. I could do that. They wouldn't say nothing to me. They'd be like, "Him and Mel, they tight, so don't say nothing to him. He got the big head up there."
Look, to be like this, Kim. Oh, he mourning.
He mourning. Don't even worry about it. Let him hold his head up. Let him hold her head up. That's what they would probably say to me.
But for all my young people watching this,
Jokes.
The point is, try to just imagine if you could see your family in a rest in peace shirt while you still here. So stop doing that stuff you doing. Stop thinking you invincible. Stop this fighting. Stop thinking that, I'm going to get them. They're not going to get me, because, somebody told me one time the scared person is the person that will take you out. So don't think that, you're invincible and nothing will happen to you. So that's why I put that in that poem, because I really want our young people to try to think, if I could get, when I speak to a classroom of 30 people, if I could get 2 to 3 next time they're getting ready to do something violent or ride out, to stop and think. In my one book, I have a poem about the young man who got Darian Albert, who was jumped and beat in Chicago. He was trying to help his cousin that were beaten up. And they came and hit him with a big plank, and they said they hit him again and they jumped him. And I just made up fictional characters, like people who didn't want to, who didn't want to jump in, who didn't want to help, who didn't want to do this, and they ended up getting jail time. And when it happened, it was a young man that was on the road. His father was trying to fight for him. He got life. People that were just jumping in, like at that moment, you're looking good and you think nothing's going to happen, but then the young man passes away. He actually dies from that. You thinking, I'm going to beat somebody up, I'm going to jump somebody. Like, you have to think before you react. That's my main thing that I'm trying to get out to these young people, is to think before you react. So that's why I did that reference to
No, I like it. Let me complete the entire reference, okay? I pulled that out, but certain things we got to shop talk about. Maybe we should create RIP shirts with your picture on it while you are alive. Then maybe knowing how many people's lives death truly affects will give you a reason to strive.
Yes. Yes.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I agree with that. And that's almost like those things that, for the Maury Watchers. Remember, they were like the Scare Straight programs that Maury Povich would have back then. That'll kind of give you a Scare Straight program or make you realize, like, oh, wait a second. Or if you're looking at your body in the casket, and I believe he did one, and it's like, look at who you're hurting. You make a decision to say, okay, this is the road that I'm choosing. And most of the time, pretty much what you were saying, most of the time, it's the children that don't even have to do. They don't have that sad story to tag along and say, this is why I am this way. They've had, 2-parent households, or, great role models in their life, but still chose to go another direction.
Or, you just get caught up in the moment. I see.
Almost.
One thing I always put on Gangster Prayers, we as adults, we need to stop acting like we forgot that when we were young, we didn't do nothing stupid. like we didn't make no bad decisions. We wasn't hanging with nobody. I remember one time on senior night, they was doing remember they used to do the crazy driving where you curve all the way out.
Oh, at Mill Creek Park and stuff. Yes.
You will follow and you do we all did stupid stuff. I have been in more shootouts than I can, care to remember. From at Staples, when somebody got shot at Staples and they were shooting at each other like cops and robbers, and we had to run and the cars were moving, to being at college parties.
Staples is a cornerstone in the hometown, Youngstown, Ohio. Okay. Restaurant.
Parties, when I was away at college parties, they would laugh at me because as soon as I see somebody look like they about to fight, I'm out. I'm gone. I'll be like, oh, no, they look like that. I done been in shootouts at college parties. I was at the shootout at a block party at Ohio State back in the day where 3 people got shot in the leg. And that was outside and it was like...
Oh, the accident. Okay.
Yeah, so like we don't know. We're in these situations. We've all done stuff where we've been in these bad situations, but we want to like act like when we get grown that we forgot all of that. And you want to, adults sometimes want to say, well, they acting out and they doing this and they horrible and this, that, and the other. But I have a poem in my book called No One Knows. And it's talking about no one knows what I'm going through. Like, there are kids, I've worked in the juvenile system. I worked in I worked in the prisons. I worked in, the other places where they didn't have all of that. I can't even remember what it's called. But anyway, I've seen so many stories of children who have been molested and children whose parents put a gun on the table as discipline. Things like this. There's a wonderful author that I met who just reached out to me. Her name is Marilyn Scott, and she's Oprah's ambassador for hope, and she has a book, and it all tells about how her mother was getting beat so much that some people came to the house, and they ended up, recruiting her, and she was doing worshiping the devil. And this young lady grew up in this household listening to her mom worshiping the devil because she was trying to get an out because her husband was beating her. So she's going to school, her and her brother are going to school, and the parents are like, what is wrong with you all? We want to say, oh, they acting up. And let me tell you something. Hunger is a major issue. When you think hungry, you think of these commercials where you see babies with swollen bellies and flies all around them. But let me tell you something. KK and them down the streets, kids are hungry because they don't have no food, or they're not buying their food, or the parents are on drugs, or whatever the situation may be. There are so many things going on with youth, and we like to be judgmental, and they don't need that. They need our help. They need us not to be judgmental. Who are we? It's by grace that we go.
And that's true. Now, I do want to say, you have a point when you're talking about people forget. You know, you got to go back and rewind to that age. Because, y'all call them, the youth call them trap houses now.
Yeah.
I was always there because that was like the hangout. And here's the deal. Okay, I'm going to move it up a little bit. Y'all call them trap houses. I was in the trap house, but I wasn't a rat. If that makes sense. So I wasn't a rat up in there. It was the kicking spot. And you had a good time. I like to laugh. And there has been so many times that I could have been locked up when they come in and raided.
Yeah.
You know, not realize, okay, it's the people you associate with and where you are. And then they come and do a raid. Guess what? They going to have me down there. But I will say this. There has been 3 times that I have actually been kicking it at the house, not realizing what it is. I ain't never had no furniture, but I'm just over there kicking it with my homies, you know. And as soon as I left, 3 times, soon as I left, here come the police, and then it's an arrest. And this is what's crazy. They was calling me the cops. They was like, I think you the po-po male, because this is crazy. Every single time I left, it would happen. I'd be like, thank you, God. So I know who was watching over me. Now, I want to go with you are noticed. What was your purpose for writing that one? You are noticed.
Okay. I'm going to share it real quick.
Please. Oh, look, we got a live. Look, we had a show. We had a live show. Go ahead.
And the reason I wrote this is because we focus on the negative so much. And what about the kids who are doing good? You know, if you got kids in the family that bringing D's and F's home, who you fussing at and who you focusing all the time? And then you got one that's bringing A's and B's home. Do you even notice them? Like, do you honor that? Like, I cut food when Kenny did something good. You know, he made an honor roll. I came to the school when he was elementary school for his honor roll banquet. Girl, I had like this thing with the NBA stuff on in the balloon. Everybody's like, oh my God. You know, I always
set the precedence for other mothers. That's good.
Nurture and praise. You always praise good acts, because we always want to criticize and say, look what you're doing when kids are doing stuff bad, but then you don't want to praise when they're doing good. So let's remember to notice our kids. So this is called You Are Noticed. And the second section is more for like junior high type kids, but in these streets, that third section is for my babies that I'm trying to reach that are like out there, you know, killing it in gangs and all of that stuff. But this is called You Are Noticed. Peekaboo, I see you, and God does too. You think no one is watching all the good things that you do. He sees you studying all the time and helping mom and dad. He sees you as you give out hugs when your friends are sad. He sees you when you put away your dishes and when you make your bed. And the time you could have joined in bullying, but you walked away instead. He notices everything about you. There's no such thing as small to him. All the good deeds you view as little, God surely notices them. He smiles down every time he sees you doing something right. And he especially loves to hear your prayers you send him every night. You are awesome. You are great. You make Jesus proud. Keep on doing the things you do so we can say out loud, way to go, Big Sean. Way to go. Woo, woo.
Now, what about the C student? That's what I always focus on, that C student, because just what you were saying, as far as like the DF, they get the attention, be it good or bad. Mm-hmm. Your AB, they get the scholarship. Yep. But what happens to that C student that chose not to get a D or F, but may not be mentally prepared to get that A or B? Mm-hmm. Speak to that person.
In higher education, we should never forget the C student. And as we as adults, I mean, if this is not your calling, I don't recommend it. But if you're an adult and you have a chance to make a difference in a young person's life, you should be able to do whatever you can do. Help them find resources. Help them find tutoring. See what they need. If you notice, like I said, if somebody's getting molested and they come to you, some of these kids need help in so many ways, and they might not be able to get it at home. So like I said, like you said, if they're a C student don't mean nothing. Listen, some C students come to college and excel better than the A and B student. Because I was an A and B student, and I got to college, and I was like, hold on.
And like I did the reverse. I was like B, C. I wasn't really doing it in high school. I was kicking it. I told you I was at the trap house.
Well, when I
but college,
I was like, oh, okay, I'm most popular. Then I'm Kim Hight. So, Professor, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm supposed to have straight A's.
but who was the college queen?
I was a college queen in 93.
Get your wave on.
South State.
Okay.
93 homecoming queen, the second black queen ever, and it was just such an honor. Yeah, it was just such an honor. Whereas a low minority, I was just telling somebody, I looked it up. Do you know it's still 8.8%, like something like that for minority students? So yeah,
Yes.
it was a low minority, so it was a major thing. God really blessed me and let me, to win homecoming queen there. So
Yeah. I think I grew up. I grew up in college when it was like time, because I used to kick it in Kilcawley and be playing spades and all that other stuff. That was my freshman year though.
somebody said they tunked out of school. And
That's-
flunked out. I said, no, you know what I used to do? I used to sit there and listen to the people cracking on each other. Craig Washington and Daryl Hubbard and them, they used to sit there and crack on each other. I would skip class and be like,
Right. That was like it. It's crazy.
In the conversations in the TV room in Kilcawley and all of that, I mean,
It was a different world, literally. Like when Bill Cosby said, it was that. And it was so fun. And I truly believe that, college isn't for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But at least experience it. It's a great experience. Even if you come in with somebody else that's enrolled. Because I had some people that I thought they went to school. They used to just come down there every day. And I was like, I don't have that kind of time to just be wasting. I'm not going to just come and kick it at the college with the college students with a book bag.
Yeah.
And not enroll in a class. I don't have that time to waste. I was like, wait a minute, what? Huh? Because I'm like, I gotta go.
You made an important point when you said college is not for everyone. That's another thing when I said we nurture our children. We need to nurture our young people for their dreams and their aspirations. Not how many people have we heard I almost went pro? Just like pushing their child to go pro, and who's making their kids play sports, or who's saying, well, my child gonna do this and my child gonna do that. I'm talking about kids of 5 and 6 and they saying what college they gonna send their child to and stuff. You have to nurture your child's dreams, and I'm not bragging, because I was raised by Joanne and we don't do that. But my son gave me a card one time when he was little, and he said, Mom, if I said I wanted to be a hockey playing astronaut, so-and-so, this, that, and the other, you would, and you'd open it up, and the little kid had on the astronaut outfit, had a hockey thing, because if he said something and he believed in it, he went to school, he got his degree from Ohio State University, but I know he's like doing great with his Hear Me Now studios, music production and everything. I just always encourage his dream, and even his advisor that was like his mentor in college was like, I've never seen a mom support her child so much with their dreams. I said, because that's his dreams. And that's what we have to do. We have to nurture our children for their dreams and believe in them so they can believe in themselves. So that was very important that you said, college is not for everybody. Quit planning out your children's life. That is their life.
And that is the truth. My son, he went to school. He did the first year. And he called me. He said, this is not for me.
Yes.
And guess what I said? I can appreciate that. Yes. And it was like, okay, I got you. Because even like with the people I was talking about that I thought they went to class because they was down there, they followed my schedule. And I know me personally, I don't have that time to waste. But here's the thing. I would rather you waste time, if you're not going to do anything, in a good environment.
Yes.
Than somewhere else and doing something else. And that's why I say I believe everybody should experience that college life, not even being enrolled, but like them, they were just friends of a college student. So you kind of know. And then the thing is, they don't have the debt. I do. It's like they don't have the debt, and then they went on to trade school and will come down after their trade school. They've done it out, got their careers going. But college isn't for everyone. And I'm glad you made a point. We do tend to project our dreams onto our children, almost like those cheer moms. You never was a cheerleader, but you got this little dainty daughter and this is what you wanted to do. And now you're pushing it on them and they're like, hold on, this is not what I want to do. So I can respect that. I can respect every parent that allow their children to do what it is that they want to do. I want to hear from the father of an adult child and the father of young children on this topic. Shop talk, go ahead. Are you already? No, come on with it.
Yeah. Coming from an aspect of a father that has a mixture of children, my kids read like a lottery number. So it's like I have a 28-year-old. A 9-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So I have an adult son, 2 boys, and a daughter. So it's like the support thing, which you stated earlier, is so important. And the one thing I do not agree with is that we need to stop calling our children bad. Children are not bad.
Right.
Children have an energy that has to be harnessed or it has to be focused. Children are not bad. Children are sponges. They absorb everything that's in their environment. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. Whatever they see you do, they absorb it. My 2-year-old, God, I ask God all the time, who did you send me to raise? Because he is on a whole nother level at 2. Very highly intelligent, very observant, to the point of when I'm getting ready for work, he's here with me during the day, and my mom comes and she sits with him. So what happens is that he mimics everything that I do. If I'm shaving or if I'm combing my beard or if I'm putting on lotion, if he's in the room, he's watching everything that I do, excuse me. And as far as you were saying about the older children, like my oldest son, whatever it is, it's like you never stop being a parent. And that's what people realize. No matter what age you are, my mother's 70-some-odd years old and she still goes, here's your birthday gift. Here's this. Here's that. Because just because they turn 18, my best friend I quote him and say, just because your kids turn 18, don't mean that you stop teaching them. What you have to teach them now is how to pay the rent, how to go buy a car, how to get a job, how to take care of themselves even further. So you never stop being a parent. That's the way I feel about it.
Okay. Go ahead,
Mel,
Kim.
can you share on the bottom of the page my YouTube?
Yeah, I sure can.
My YouTube is Kim Hight, D.A. Poet. Kim Hight, the poet.
Oh, okay.
If everybody can go and subscribe to my YouTube page. I have a poem called A Letter to My Son. And the things that you just talked about are, I talked about how I raised them to pray and respect adults and do dishes and who you talking to and make sure you get your girl a Hallmark card and make sure it got the crown because it just ain't a Hallmark without the crown. How I came in with an economy pack of condoms for him and all of his friends and said, don't make me no grandma at 34. So,
there you go.
How I tried to, pack his brain with advice like pockets on payday, bulging pockets on payday. So I tried to do the best I could for my son, but that poem, A Letter to My Son, is about how my son was put in handcuffs and put in a car for fitting the description 3 days before he graduated from Ohio State University. So
you can't just say that and then be done on this show.
You gotta elaborate on
on this show.
My son was at an after party. He's in a fraternity, and he was at an after party having a good time. And anybody that knows my son smiles when he's mad, when he's happy. My son just smiles all the time. So he said these cops were running up to him, and he said he was smiling, and they were like, "Get on the ground, get on the ground." So he said, "What am I being arrested for?" And they said, "We're looking for a large black man in a blue coat." And they took him and his friend with a smaller black man. And my son kept saying, "My car is black. My car is black." And so they still put him in the car. So when he called me, it was like 4:30 in the morning. He was like, "Mom, I just wanted you to know I was detained for a half an hour for fitting the description." He said they kept him in the car. He said the crowd was going crazy. Like, they didn't do nothing. And he said they checked his record. Of course he didn't have no record. He had never been in trouble in his life. And he said they took him out. They shined the flashlights on him. Some people looked at him and said that wasn't him and let him go. My home talks about how I cried from 4:30 to 8:00 a.m. I did. I just sat there and cried, and like, I don't want to get emotional now, but there's a section where I say I cried a tear for his every drum solo, for his Easter speech, for his driver's license, for every Mother's Day card he ever gave. I taught him everything I could, and then you put him in there because he fit the description. And then when I went to the police station the following Monday, because at church the next day, I was asking this lawyer, "Is there anything I can do?" And he was laughing at me. He said, "No, they get done to black people all the time."
And that's the problem.
So I went to the police station, and they told me where to go. And I looked at, and he had dreadlocks at the time. And I looked at the original description and said I was looking for a large black man in a blue leather coat and a smaller black man with a black coat. So I started screaming at the man, "Where's the long hair? Where's the long hair?" And he said, "Ma'am, your son is not in trouble." I was like, "I don't care. You put my son in handcuffs and put him in a cop car before he's about to graduate from Ohio State University." So that just rocked my world. So yeah, I have a YouTube channel, and I have different poems, and I've been working on that because I want to get my message out there to people. The poem that you're talking about, the bully, it's not even what you think about. People don't like to hear they think you're preachy, and I'm not preachy, and I'm not a Christian poet. I don't want that label. I do inspirational poetry. But my poem, The Bully, I wrote that one day when I was sitting in a car, and I didn't know if I was going to have enough money for gas or groceries. This was years ago.
Come on with it. I like that one.
You really got to make that decision now. So I was sitting there, and I said, "I'm tired of being bullied by the devil." So the whole poem is about how this bully came to school, and the little boy was already in a bad mood. He turned around and said, "You better leave me alone." He was like, "What you say to me?" And like, the little dude beat him up, told him, "Shut up, don't come back. That's this for every time you should have did." And then at the end, I say the bully represents the devil. The child represents us. Take back what the devil has stolen from you. So that's what I try to do. I try to do inspirational poetry, and that's why my company is called Poetry for Entertainment, because people say they feel like when they listen to my poetry, they feel like they're in a story.
Yes, I can agree.
And like, I do different characters and do different things, and that's what I like to do, so I can kind of like keep your attention. So
you did even with which one? The Duck Duck Goose.
Yes.
Is that what is that special one? Which one is that? Which one is that one?
Special You.
Oh, Special You. Okay, that one.
I do that at the school. I say duck, 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 goose, and then I say and duck, 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 you. So the kids can get involved in that. And I say, you're special, and God chose you, because you know how you are when you're going around and they're playing duck, duck. You like, they picked me. So I try to do things that are interactive so people know what's going on.
I got a ding because it's a shop talk moment. I think I was a lazy child. Because I used to be like, please don't pick me because I don't feel like running around that circle.
She just took me back to my youth when she said she took me back to Jefferson School on the north side.
But it's a story. Doesn't it put the pictures there?
Yeah,
that's why I was saying that.
My John White posse. Hey, John White. Hey. okay.
What she's doing is she's storytelling and capturing the imagination.
Right.
So, as soon as she said that, my mind went, oh man, I remember sitting on the floor in the gym in school. You know what I mean? So that's awesome.
And everybody,
this book is amazing.
And it was plain, and like all of them that I read, even with the Glory, from Glory to Gangs, when I read that little excerpt right there and about the RIP shirts, it gave me that story. It gave me an image. And every last one of them gives me an image. That's why I was talking about that on there. I said, wait, Shop Talk moment. Let's talk about this. Because it gave me that image where I was like, yeah, that do be silly. Because I laugh at a lot. I do. And I'm like, oh, no, they done came in here. What's about to happen? And it is some, at certain funerals, it's some gangster type stuff because they coming in there with that. So I'm uneasy because I don't got no tennis shoes on. I don't know if what's about to happen when it's a whole group of people. And it's sad because, do you remember how it was? We used to be at the mall and everybody can go, hundreds of people can go. And then all of a sudden they broke it down and it was like, no, only certain groups. And then we felt stereotyped. Well, the way things are going and it's becoming so common with everybody just want to kill everybody.
Yeah.
I said, oh, and then I grew up. Because I was that child that I was like, well, we just here to have a good time. Now I'm sitting there like, should I have had some tennis shoes on? What's about to go down? So my mindset is, I'm thinking differently. And it's like,
I just had my niece cracking up because I told her the funniest thing. This is not funny, but it's funny. The funniest shootout, I was at McGuffey Plaza. And I was with my mom and my son Kenny was probably about 3-4 years old. And remember the Chinese egg rolls and all of that? My mom used to want to go there. And I went to go to the door. I saw some dudes dressed up in suits. And I went to go, to open the door. And I hear pop, 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 pop. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Honey, my mom was on the walker. She was like, she beat me.
She's skirting, boy.
I was gone. I turned around. My mom was gone. But we had to hide out in the Chinese wig shop. Remember that?
yes.
And we was hiding out. Kenny was like, Mom, I'm scared. And I was like, shh, be quiet. This lady was screaming in the hallway. And they said, they shooting at you. You shut up. So, I mean, there have been some crazy things going on.
And the McGuffey Mall and the lady was screaming, so it was echoing. You remember how everything used to echo?
3 o'clock in the afternoon, but they were shooting at somebody out in the parking lot, and some man going past in his car got shot in the arm. But I was like, that's by the grace of God that, I had one out for a couple months couple minutes earlier. You know what I'm saying? So, like, God really kept us. We've seen some things. I lost friends and, mass murders. Not mass murders, but, the Labor Day massacres and things like that. We lost a lot of friends. A lot of my friends went to jail over drugs and stuff. So, it's just, that's why I have this passion to just say, Lord, please, let's try to reach these. And somebody told me one time, I was so excited when I was speaking at East. Because I'm like, that's my alma mater, and somebody said, them dudes ain't gonna listen to you. That's the attitude right there. That's why we don't make a difference. Because you say, they ain't gonna listen to you, but one person might have heard my message, and it might have changed their life the next time they got into a situation. Right. Which, do I have time to share a poem?
You do, please do.
I want to share this poem. This is a poem that I do every time I go to a high school or somewhere when I'm trying to reach my young dudes. And this is called Shots Fired. It's useless for you to try to figure out my mental state, because I ain't even know until it was too late. See, because we gangsters don't believe fat meat is greasy. When it comes to killing, we think it's easy until we do it. I've never felt my heart race like this. When I shoot to kill, I bet not miss. And I know I won't. Do you know who I am? If you don't, you better ask somebody, fam. When it comes to the streets, I am the law. The most ruthless terror you ever saw. Our family name strikes terror in hearts. Mess with us, it's over before it starts. So we thought. So we load up the car and go to handle our biz. He know what he did. It's time to get his. We don't let nothing slide. We don't go out like no punk. One wrong word, we got Glocks in the trunk. Pause. Dear society, why didn't you ever tell me? Why didn't you try harder? You thought I wouldn't listen, but I would have. I was dying, literally dying, with a desire to change, but no one laid out a path. So I hopped the seat on the train of stereotypes to a destination of death. I longed for attention, but you fed my demon with fear and abandonment, thinking there was no hope for me. And now, shots fired. We're at the scene. Action. This is it. Pop, pop, pop. This is as real as it gets. For every shot fired, I fired 4 more, while bullet after bullet mutilated our car doors. I'm feeling good. I know I at least hit 2. I told my brother they'd think again before they mess with you. But that's when I realized that he didn't answer. And fear started eating at me like an unwanted cancer. I turned to check on him, and to my surprise, he lay on the back seat with blood in his eyes. He had asked me not to come, to just let it be. I told him if we let it ride, it was going to look bad on me. Even though he was a good student and did what he was told, I still had a family reputation to uphold. He tried to warn me by saying people do shoot back. I told him, stop talking that nonsense. I don't get got. But he did. Dear society, some innocent do die. You turn your nose up and immediately say gang-related. Do you know him, my brother, the victim? Have you never made a bad decision in your life? I'm tired of crying in rest in peace shirts, trying to act hard, pretending none of this hurts. My brother is dead, and it should have been me. But I was too gangster to just let it be. Dear gangster, no, it should not have been you or your brother. Please stop and think when you pick up your gun. Remember how many funerals you have attended and how your heart hurts. Remember your boy's phone call from a life sentence in prison with a hollow soul on the other end of the line. Remember your child. Do you want them to grow up as miserable as you did? Remember the night your boy came to you in tears after he murdered someone. Remember what happens when it gets real and there's no one there to yell cut. Please remember, and when you remember, stop.
I don't have these side effects.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Beautiful poem. I mean, the realism in that was just amazing. Just such a vivid picture. Mm-hmm. And it's like I heard a quote from DMX. He said he was in a movie. He said, "Guns don't kill people. People kill people."
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's really sad that we as Black America won't wake up and see that it's all a trick. It's all a trick. As far as the drugs, the gangs, it's all a trick. Mm-hmm. We're all in the same gang. We're all on this little green rock together. Mm-hmm. And people don't get that, It's not about color. It's not about race. It's just about people, the human race.
And I love what I love about performing that poem and doing that poem when I go to high schools or in the beginning when I'm talking about one wrong word, we got Glocks in the trunk. I mean, they have literally been like, I know that's right. Somebody said, oh, she blank. And I had to ask somebody, what does blank mean? They said that was good. Like I was she blank. But then when I started talking about that brother with the blood in his eyes, like students literally start crying because they have experienced stuff like that. Then we always thought there must be gang related. They were shooting. It'd be innocent people getting killed and everything else. There have been more shootings over girls and everything else. When you said, I watched 48 Hours one time for like a whole season, and that was really getting to me for Spiritual Gangster because these babies were going to jail over the dumbest things. They were like shooting people over a bike. This one dude went to rob somebody in the apartment complex and he let this one lady go, but he beat up a 73-year-old woman, shot her and killed her and didn't even take nothing. Didn't take no money or nothing. And he got life. like they're just not thinking. So when I say spiritual gangster, these demonic forces that have our babies' minds and stuff that you think you're supposed to do. No, we're going to come together as spiritual gangsters. We're going to touch and agree, and we're going to pray against that. People say prayer don't change things. It doesn't make a difference. Oh, yes, it does.
That's not true. That is, prayer still changes things.
It does make a difference.
It still makes a difference.
Yeah, so we got to do what we can do. Even if we think it's a little bit, do what we can do.
Mm-hmm. And I just feel like your poems, because you're what I consider a real mom. You know what I'm saying? You that real mother in the hood. It's like
you black.
And you take your life experiences and you're bringing it to fruition to share with these young people. So your poems are touching. You should be on tour because a lot of young people need to hear those poems. They need to hear those words of inspiration because you understand and this is what young people forget. We were your age at one point in time.
Yeah.
So they tend to forget that, like been there, done that. I always used to tell my son, boy, I've been your age a couple of times already. We're better than y'all. So that's what they tend to forget. Like, we do have a little knowledge. We do have a little understanding on things. So, but they need to hear that your realism and it's just like, and you're down to earth. It's like that's why they relate to it because you're speaking their language. So that's
well, and let me just clarify something because I know some of my boys watching that be cracking on me. I'm a nerd. Yes, I grew up. I went to East and everything, but my one friend called me L Southern. He'd be like, "You a L Southern?" Because I didn't drink and I didn't smoke, but I'm a life of the party though without that. But I didn't drink and I didn't smoke. I can count on my hands a couple times I had those type of adventures in college. But when you say I speak their language, everybody knows my story. Well, most people know my story. I had my son when I was 16. And so, I was a straight A student, number 3 in the class, most popular and everything. But when I speak as a motivational speaker, I tell the youth that I had all of that, but I had the lowest self-esteem ever. I had, they told me I was the big girl. But let me tell you something. All you big girls, they gonna be in your inbox later on talking about they always had a crush on you. Boo. No. Don't even try it. Because if I would have known back then what I know now, I would have took all y'all men. So anyway.
What's this? Kim, on that note, my daughter, crazy. She said mighty funny, the people, they used to call her fat.
Yeah.
She was like, y'all caught up.
Yeah. I've been this side since high school, so people are like, Kim, you still look good. I know. But I had a self-esteem issue. I held my head down. I felt like I had a scarlet letter on because I had Kenny at 16. My dad was a deacon in the church and I had to go through all the religious shame and all of that stuff. And that's another thing. I am very, very adamant about having a relationship with God. People bash Christianity and don't believe in it and this, that, and the other. But I have a haiku that says, yes, give God a try. Yes, hypocrites attend church. You will fit right in. I was like, because Christianity is striving to do the best you can. But I tell people, don't follow religion. Yes, I'm a Christian, but have a relationship with God. It's not right until you have a personal relationship with God. I tell people all the time, when you get to meet somebody, what do? You talk to them on the phone, you go to the movies with them, this, that, and the other, and you have a relationship. You build a relationship. So, going to church and Bible study and stuff is like building your relationship, but you got to have a personal relationship with God to make it. And a lot of people are judgmental, and I don't care. I'm me. I'll tell you the truth. I'm real. God help me. I got a potty mouth. But everybody know, I knuck if you buck in a minute. I'm real because people think that you're not supposed to have a life, that you're not supposed to live, and when you become a Christian, you got to give it. No, God is a fun God. I mean, that's why we turn the people away because we doing things like that. But I just try to tell people, don't be judgmental of people. And like I said, I had my son when I was 16. And so because I went through that stuff, my son said, because you went through that, I think that's what made you so non-judgmental. against people. And I think that really did help me because I walked around with my head down for like 10 years. I graduated, again, I'm not bragging. Lord, I always have to say that because I was raised by my mama and she'd be like, all right, now you let somebody else tell you that. I graduated number 3 in the class in high school, but I was like, yeah, but I had a baby. I graduated from college and I was like, yeah, but I had a baby. I was like walking around like I had a baby until he was 10 years old. And then I, talked to my dad and he was like, I didn't even know you felt like that because, he was
So let me ask you this. So when you said that was pretty much why you had your head held down because you had a baby, was it because you felt like you wanted to, you shamed your parents? Let me put it that way. Or was it
myself because, oh my God, I had a baby out of wedlock and before I was born, before I was wedded.
Okay, wait. Now pause.
Teenager.
Wait, now pause. Before it was you, did you think that way of other people who had their children that were young?
No.
I'm trying to understand why you would feel.
Because I was raised in a strict religion.
So the church.
Yeah, you didn't play that. No fornicators in the kingdom of God.
Okay, because I was trying to figure out, because it seemed like you were beating yourself up.
You are doomed.
But now I know. Okay, so that's why you were.
Just like, oh my God.
So you were condemning the conviction was on, you were convicting yourself based off of the religion.
Yes, and look how wonderful my child is. And I put that as a testimony when he got married. I was so emotional. Everybody laughing because I got another ugly cry picture. You got another
one out there?
And now I got this one for the wedding, right? Coming down the aisle. But I went through so many emotions when he was getting married about all the bull crap I went through and all the ridicule and all the people pointing. I even had people that was like, I didn't think you could get pregnant because I thought you was a goody two-shoe. Why you quit the basketball team? Looking at my stomach. I went through it when I had Kenny.
Wow.
I went through it from the church to the school to, Miss Straight A student is pregnant. I was like, yes, I have one too. Yes.
You know what? That's interesting. So clearly those are people that was envious of you and you had no idea.
Oh, I had somebody tell me one time straight to my face, we was glad when we found out you was pregnant because we were sick of hearing your name. Why can't you be like Kim? I've had stuff like that. You got to be careful of people that are jealous of you because people, when you're most popular, you might be the most loved, but you also the most, envy. And the thing about it is, I'm genuine. I'm genuine. I love everybody. I'm happy for you. I'm for real happy for you. If you getting a blessing, if you getting a job, you getting a car, you got a man, I'm happy for you. And jealousy is not something that I can understand. And it's very hurtful. Like when people don't want you to do well, sometimes even your own family wants you to meet your demise because they're jealous. And that's so sad that people are waiting around and I hope you do bad, and I hope this, and I hope that. That's how people are. And when people, even if they don't say it to you, if I'm sitting here going, I can't stand Mel, she got a podcast, and I want a podcast, and I hope it don't do. I'm
like, go get one. I'll show you how to do it.
I'm going to get the Kim Hight.
Yes, and I'll show you how to do
it. Listen.
It's going to be
I gotta say this.
Go ahead, Art.
With the personality that you have, you are amazing. I think that you would do well in a podcast, TikTok videos, because you're so animated. It's like, even to the point you did the preacher voice, and I am cracking up because it was so authentic.
He thought it was...
That was hilarious. I'm like, I could see you with your own podcast doing your thing because of your life experiences and just the way that you tell it. Your personality is so broad and so relatable, and people, that's what people need. They need that relatable personality that people could say, man, Kim remind me of somebody next door. You know what I mean? That remind me of my auntie. That remind me of my big sister. So you have that relatable, personality that people can hear what you saying, and you would honestly, you would blow up, man. I'm just gonna say it right now. The Kim Hight.
Speak it into existence.
Do that.
She what?
I'm giving you the go on that. Let's go.
Right, just go. Let's give her a timeline too. Where we at? We're in spring. Yep. We're gonna give her a timeline. Comment what they do. You know how they do like the shows come out in the fall. Yeah. Coming up. That we waiting on you.
Yeah, we waiting on it.
You told me you was like, Miss Kim, you gotta put it in the. I said, I know, and that's what I'm concentrating on. The last few weeks, I've been, concentrating on my purpose and trying to focus on everything again. Because I'm telling you, you can look. I can work a job. I got a big old promotion, all of that, but like I know what my purpose is and where I want to be and that type of thing. And it just, you can do all of that. And I just posted on Facebook, Gain the World, the Give Me Jesus, because you can do all of that. You can have a family, you can have this, and you can have that, but you're going to feel empty if you're not fulfilling your purpose.
Your purpose is people. I'm telling you, your purpose is, the world needs to hear Kim Hight. And I'm not just saying that, it's just listening to your conversation. I've seen you and your brother in pictures. I know your brother, but just to hear you speak, it's like I hear so much with you. It's like you it's in a sense, I'm gonna say it, it's cliche to say, but you're a star.
She is.
You really are. Like you are a TikTok sensation. You are that person that people really need to hear. People need to hear your poetry. Yeah. People need to hear your personality. Like I said, it's like they need to hear your story because your story makes a difference. Your story is going to change somebody's life. Real talk, because
even Lord.
Yeah, there it is, right there. That's just that moment. People need that.
And Kim the only girl. Kim is the only girl.
Right.
So you already know.
Oh yeah. There's so much there. I'm telling you, you should be on TikTok. Your YouTube channel. You ought to be just everywhere. Instagram. It's like everybody needs to hear you. And I say that on the real because you just have that personality, the realness. It's like you're so organic, you're down to earth. And,
yes.
And being a nerd back then, but that's considered cool now. So you're cool.
The nerds is winning.
But I was a nerd, but let me tell you something.
But she was cool with everybody and popular.
I was going to say I was a nerd, but I was raised by Joanne, and that was another thing. My mother said, don't never, ever think you better than anybody.
Right.
I don't care what kind of degree you get. So I didn't care if you was in the, what they call the whatever slow classes, to the thugs, to the honor rolls, I'm friends with everybody. I don't care who you are, because I don't think I'm better than nobody. Right. And that's, like I said, my heart is genuine, and I'm genuinely happy.
I believe you are. I believe you are.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on you. Yeah. I'm waiting on you to continue to be great. Right. And be greater and get on out there. And you see how she did her when she was reading that poem when she had her gat when shots was fired. Mm-hmm. I'm over here like one of Charlie's Angels with my shots fired. She like that. I'm like, oh.
when you get off of this, listen to Spiritual Gangster. When you put your CD in and listen to that Spiritual Gangster track. Kenny was at a school, and I had one of the young people from the school produce the track.
Okay.
He produced the beat, and so I paid him for the beat. But, I told the devil, we tired of you. I was like, tap, 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 tap. So you'll hear all that in Spiritual Gangster.
Look, I wanted mine to remain. I don't know how much it's going to be worth, so I don't know if I want to crack that. I'm all about, let me see how financial gain. I don't know.
Hold on to that. That's gonna be worth some money.
Right.
Have her autograph that and hold on to that.
And she did.
There you go. Hold on to that.
But I have read it. I've read it. That's why it looked like that and folded down pages. But I ain't touching that CD, ma'am. I'm gonna have to go to the YouTube. I'll go to the YouTube channel.
I have one question. Do you have a TikTok page?
I I do not have TikTok.
It's time for you to get a TikTok page.
So everybody said I don't have TikTok because I'm a Facebook junkie.
Listen, it's time. Okay,
I feel like if I get on TikTok, the Lord might be like, you can get on TikTok for 5 hours today.
Now that's true.
Right, true.
That's true. That's why I'm like, no.
But people need to hear your poetry. And TikTok is that new wave of the future. TikTok, Snapchat, and all of that. But TikTok definitely, you need a TikTok page because people need to hear your poetry because you need to reach the masses. If I could say that to you, because you have a gift and ability that
it's coming
to be aware of, man. I'm telling you,
it's coming.
Dimple said that Youngstown still in.
Yeah, I was getting ready to go to the comments. Yes.
Before it was the 330, we was the 216. You know what I mean?
Right? They don't know about that.
Cleveland stole that. Cleveland stole the 216.
I always say I'm from the 330 to the 614 to the 704.
There you
That's
go.
my path from
That's
the hill to the bus to
That's
the
right.
city. That's where I'm at now.
Hey, you doing it? You spraying it? Get it on out there. But you definitely need to do that. And you know, with podcasting, because it's a lot of people that have podcasts now. I had podcasts. About 9 years? I think it was. So, and being on local radio, radio station, podcast is it.
Yeah.
Podcast is it because guess what? You're not limiting yourself.
Yes.
And it's always there. So you could go and catch some old blog talks too. As a matter of fact, you were on before on the blog talk, weren't you? Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
So you can.
A long time ago, right after I spoke in Youngstown at a high school, I came to do your blog talk.
Yeah. So a long time, but you need to do it. Listen, if you know me, you know me, and if you don't, I still help you. But because that's just who I am. I'm about every success. It doesn't have to be me, but I gain success off of seeing other people succeed. Mm-hmm. Once you succeed, I'll be like, I know her. and it's
I appreciate that. And I have a brother here, John Smalls, and his brother, Mr. Witts. I'm telling you, the poetry scene can be kind of ugly sometimes. So some people will say, well, who do you think you are? You shouldn't be releasing this. Like
people still be doing that.
No, I'm telling you, in the poetry scene, they be like, you gotta get permission from somebody. But let me tell you something about
what is it, poetry the gang now? Like, are they
right?
They throwing up maps? Like, what's that about?
That's another thing that I had to speak about when I was a motivational speaker. That I literally got told that I wasn't a real poet because I rhyme. Because nobody really does 2/4 rhyme scale anymore. Because everybody does their poetry like this, and when they do this and that. So sometimes I do traditional poetry, and I got told I was not a real poet. And this is what I tell people when I speak. Don't let people talk against your dreams. Because at that point, back in those days, people were releasing what they call chapbooks that they sold for $10. And the Lord blessed me, and I was able to self-publish my own book. Let me follow your soul. So, like, I don't go by what man says. I go by what, the Lord leads me to do. And you had said before, your personality and this, that, and the other. Let me tell you something. I want to speak directly to my young people. Some people will try to put you down. Do you know how many times I was told I was so loud and I was so ghetto? Oh my God, she's so loud and she's so ghetto and this, that, and the other. But guess what? God instilled all of that in me because guess what? Loud and ghetto equals poetry for entertainment, and that's why you in that poem and hearing get. That's why you hearing all of that because God gave me that as a gift. So people will put you down and try to take your stuff that God has instilled in you and try to make it for bad. But honey, everything that people meant for bad, God meant it for your good. Look at your neighbor and say hallelujah.
I heard that.
That's that TikTok sensation right there. Inspired words. I'm telling you.
I'm really shocked that people do that once you become an adult, though. Like they tell you what you can't do, and I never experienced that. Probably because I got a clap back though. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. And then to tell people, when you said, I heard other people mention that as far as like people not agreeing with you, touching and agreeing. So we're going to talk church, okay? To say, okay, you're not here or you're not ready. Who are you?
Who are you?
Do you know Barry Gordy? Like, who's signing me here? Like, what is this? And that's the benefit of the whole podcast. That's why I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, I mean,
you have your own permission to be.
People do that all the time. But when I speak, I told them kids, I said, listen, what God gives to you, that's your gift. I tell them all the time, if you have an idea of a blue frog, there's an audience out there that you will get famous for your blue frogs. I said, you don't believe me? Barney was a purple dinosaur. What the heck? You know what I'm saying? There's an audience for you. I don't have to do things like you do it. I don't have to say things like you say it. I don't have to talk like you talk. I don't have to. When people say, how's my poetry? I don't judge people's poetry because that's your poetry. That's your words. And that's how you do it.
In case you didn't notice, if you notice, me and Mel's expression kind of changed at the same time. Because we look at you like, what type of rules is this? I've never, and I used to throw poetry events.
Yeah.
You know, back in the early to late 90s, I used to throw poetry event. And I've never, went up and said, well, you have to speak in this tone, you have to have this type of hue to your voice. That doesn't make any sense. You speak your poetry the way that you want it. Poetry is a freedom of expression. Yeah. So how can they kind of garner your poetry?
Some people get bigger than themselves and they start thinking, that you should do it like this. And that's why like I said, I love my brother John Smalls because he is always trying to push everybody and encourage everybody all the time. He's always trying to have workshops and encourage your gift. And people, have said stuff like that to him. Like, who do he think he is? But he's so genuine. He wants everyone to succeed. And he's not like, my way is the best way or any bull crap like that. So he's the greatest. Him and his brother, Mr. Witts, the Granny's Boys, that's their company. Hey!
You know what I say? What I say to that? What I say to that is I say, when people try to tell me to do it this way.
Yes.
I say to my favorite two words. Okay. Because I don't have to accept what you say because I'm like Frank Sinatra. I'm going to do it my way.
Exactly.
And that's the way that you're supposed to do it.
And my thing is my steps are ordered by the Lord.
Exactly.
That's what I do. My steps are ordered by the Lord. And I post on Facebook sometimes. Sometimes you look crazy when you listen to the Lord and following the Lord. People think you're crazy, but they thought Noah was crazy when he was building the ark. You know what I'm saying? They thought Abraham was crazy when he was going to sacrifice his son. You got to look crazy sometimes when you have faith. And
that's what it is.
I ain't like my mama. My mama was a rock of faith, but I got my mustard seed.
Right.
I heard that.
The thing about it is,
wait, shop talk moment. Shop talk moment.
It's like
I gotta stop you.
You're taking a chance and you're believing in God. Like,
look, he ain't listening.
So it's like by you.
Shop talk moment. Hold on. Yeah, I had to wait a second. Yeah. When you said Noah and the ark, I wanted. Wait, he's still talking. Okay, he ain't looking. With Noah and the ark.
Yes.
Look at him still talking. Ain't that funny? He's still talking, ain't even listen. You got to follow the host. Yes, you got to listen.
He said, oh.
Yeah, follow me. Wait, listen. This is what's going on. You got to look. You got to look, but wait. Yes, it's a shop talk moment.
I can't hear her. She just kind of went off.
Okay, but wait. Okay. All right. Okay. Here's the thing. You got to remember, we got a listening audience that I'm live on with all of these people that's not on video because of COVID. Okay, so we got to pay attention. The shop talk moment is, if we were back in the day, and it was shh. If it was back in the day, and we were in Noah's time, as a neighbor of Noah.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, I don't know. Something's wrong with his thing. Okay, we'll go with you, Kim. In Noah's time, and you were the neighbor, what would you have said if you saw him doing the putting the animals on the ark?
I would say, God told you to do it. Let's go. Let's go.
That's it. Would you would assist them?
Oh yeah. I said, God said, let's go. Let's go.
Okay. All right, let's see if
I was raised by Joanne, and that was it, and that's all.
Okay, now let's see. Art.
Keep my mustard seed faith, but my mother was a rock of faith.
Okay, Art. Same question, Art. If you were a neighbor of Noah when he was building his ark, and he was putting those animals on 2x2, looking out your window, what would you have said? Hello? Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Is she talking? Because I can't hear her. I say I can't see anything. It's running slow on my end.
Oh, okay. Now, me personally, I would have said something very similar to what you said, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been, oh, God told you to do that. All right. Well, he putting all them animals up there. I'm going to keep watching. Sip my tea.
Well, and
I'm going to still be his friend. Look, I'm going to still be his friend. Just, I'm like, okay, I'm going to come on there. You got room for me? All right. Go ahead.
I said, now, one of the funniest memes I ever saw was they said, ain't no way God told him to put 2 roaches on me.
That's silly.
Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way.
That is silly. You're just like, hold on a minute. Hey, 2 of everything, reproduction. That's all we hear here today. But some people do look at other people as if they are strange or different. And why is he doing that? That's the weird man down the street. Oh, he building a big boat. That's a huge boat. Here's my thing. It's almost like the non-believers.
Mm-hmm. I'm
like, it's better to believe in something than to have never believed in anything at all. And that's a quote, and I can't remember who it's by, but y'all can look it up. But I would be that person. I would be like, okay, well, he can build this boat. It's his land. I'm going to let him mind his business, but I'm going to go down. What you doing, Noah? How things going? You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely...
Just like I'm like non-judgmental with like people and stuff like that. One thing I do is I don't argue beliefs. And like people who don't believe, like when they talk to me, they're like, wow, Kim, I've never been able to have a conversation with somebody like this. I'm like, because I don't try to push my belief on you. Mm-hmm. And I don't want people to push their belief on me, but I just live and try to be example. Because if I believe it's red and you believe it's blue, we can fight all day and we're not going to get anywhere. So I'm very respectful of people's different beliefs and people's different point of views. And like I said, it's not about religion, it's about relationship. I tell people all the time, don't pray. Sometimes just sit down and talk to God. And like one of the craziest things that I ever did is that I moved to Charlotte with no job. Mm-hmm. And I could not find a job for a year and a half. Now, I was working at the Ohio State University, go Bucks, for 11 years. Okay. And so I thought I was going to come down here, and I was going to find a job, I was going to get me an apartment, this, that, and that. And I could write a book on that year and a half of the bull crap that I went through. But, like, people started telling me, you sure the Lord told you to move down there? You sure that's what you were supposed to do? Everything went crazy. I'm a diabetic. I had to get medical assistance. Right. I had to get welfare. A grown woman who had been working at Ohio State making good money. I had to get food stamps. I had to do all this stuff. And then I just lost it one day, and I was crying at my storage, and I said, Lord, is this what you brought me down here for? For like stink bugs and medical assistance? I was like, is this what, Lord? I was like, what's going on? Why can't I find a job? But I tell Pastor Simon all the time that I went to visit his church that Sunday. The babies were dancing to Sometimes You Have to Encourage Yourself. And Pastor Simon said, stop telling God what you can't do and let him do what he want to do for you. Because the Lord kept telling me I was going back. And I said, going back to what? Because I had went to Youngstown to help take care of my sister-in-law that we found out had cancer, who passed away. Rest in peace, Lord, that I love. And I went back, and when I was there, he kept saying I was going back after Martin Luther King Day. And I just kept hearing that, and I kept saying, Lord, what am I going back to? And my friend Angel got in touch with me, And she said, well, you could come stay with me. And then I got a call and I got an interview for the job that I'm at now. Well, I was a loan specialist there, but now I've been promoted like 3 levels up to assistant director. You know, I skipped all the levels, but God took care of me. And like, I even had somebody that, you know, like family members were looking at me like I was crazy. Like, why did you leave that good job at Ohio State? Why did you do that? Somebody told me, you sure that the devil didn't tell you that? Because the devil talks to people too. You know, people are a hot mess. So you have to know who you are. You have to have a strong relationship and know who you are and stand strong in God for you to survive in this life.
Wow, you like they look, and I say they, air quotes for the listening audience, whoever these they people are. They know they try to follow you and bother you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's
and continue.
I am.
I heard that.
My books know your worth. I know my worth. I didn't know it for a long time, but I know it now. So I'm good.
Do you think people still look at you as a baby?
No.
Or because what? I'm just curious to know. I'm trying to gain understanding, and hopefully somebody else who this may happen to, which we know it does happen to different people, where you have, you know, you're being positive and you're encouraging the Lord. That's what you said that little babies were singing to encourage yourself.
Yeah.
And you have those people that you think are around you, but they're discouraging you.
That's because there's things, you know, where people are sent like an attack to try to discourage you. It's not that you're a baby. That's anybody in life. Let me tell you something. I just told my niece, when you get on, my niece Brianna came here and she went to the TD Jakes conference and we was just having a ball. I was just getting a little overflow from her telling me what she learned at the conference and everything. Okay. And I told her, when you get to this point and when you start focusing, get ready. Because that's when you're going to get the dumbest attacks. People, listen, I applied for a job that, like I said, I moved from loan specialist up to this position, like 3 levels. But I had applied for the job, like right here one time. And I was told that I didn't get the job because I had a lack of communication skills.
I thought they was going to say overqualified.
I said, I looked at her and I was like,
Say it ain't so.
All right.
She was like, yeah, like, you didn't smile during the... Now, have you ever talked to me and I not smiled while I'm talking?
You been smiling the whole time.
I said, she could have told me my breath stank. She could have told me they ain't hired me because they ain't like my mama. She could have said all kind of stuff. But to say that I had a lack of communication skill, but that thing cut me to the core. But I know that was a demonic attack.
Now that, yeah.
These are the attacks that you go through. People telling you, you know, you supposed to be a Christian. Man, if you don't go on here with that stuff, you know, these are demonic attacks. This is why you have to know who you are and know who you are in God. You have to be strong. You have to be encouraged.
And it's important because, you know, you have to know yourself. You have to know who you are. You have to be secure in who you are. Mm-hmm. Because what happens is, because like I said, that's an enemy attack. You take that little pinhole and he makes it big and broad, but the little pinhole is just get next to you. Mm-hmm. But you, as far as communication, no, that's...
Yeah. So, people tell me, and I don't care, everybody get mad and know me, they say, you so emotional. Yes, I am. But I found a good word for that. It's not you're so sensitive. I'm passionate.
True.
And, all of these things, like I said, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sensitive. And I remember Glow, my sister-in-law told me one time, God, you're so sensitive. And I busted out crying. And she said, what you crying for? I said, because you said I was sensitive. But me being sensitive and emotional and loud and ghetto, these are the things that I think God instilled in me so I can relate to people and put it in my poetry and put it in my speaking and put it in my inspirational talks.
But
so people can know.
But you're not
ghetto. I'm a little ghetto.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna say you're hood, but you're not ghetto.
I'm a little ratchet. I'm a little, especially when it comes to the rap music. Hey,
Hey.
No, you just listen. I equate ghetto with being like totally what I consider like out of order, just trifling, just terrible. But I can see you hood because
Ain't nothing wrong with ghetto people. If you're looking at this, that's him speaking. Ain't nothing wrong with ghetto people. I love my hood. I love my ghetto people. Well, yeah, I got a little bit of ratchet in me.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I did my poetry feature for my 50th birthday, my friend was from church was there, and he said, "Listen," he got on the mic to announce me. He said, "Listen, she loved the Lord, but she ratchet." And my friend screamed, "Ratchet!" And I like that because, like you said, that's what makes you down to earth. You know, I don't think I'm above nobody. I just like enjoying life, genuinely enjoying life. I'm just happy.
You can hear that in this conversation because you have that difference.
Look, my boy from high school.
Yeah.
Tell him, Dave, I'm done. Give you butt. That's my dance partner from high school, Dave Green. What's up?
Like I seen that. That's
class of '89 in the house.
Okay. That's the viewers. Look, she is reading some of the comments in the viewership, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, Dave said that's a little bit salvage. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry. Says my daughter calls me a crybaby. Let's see here, and we have Mrs. Dimples who said the devil also speaks through people, which you are right. He uses people, and some people know, and they allow him to use them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come on. And let's see what we have here. Another one. Mrs. Dimples, for the listening audience, you can view us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all social networks. You can check us out and see us because Mrs. Dimples said, yeah, y'all expressions are everything. So when you see us, you know, versus actually hearing us. And I truly appreciate my listening audience. We back old school as usual, where you just listen to radio. So I hope you guys are enjoying the show today as well. Today's guest is author Kim Hight, and her books. You're going to let us know when you get your inventory up because you sold out. And yeah, this isn't a new book. I love this one. They're not new books. She has been out for a while. So if you don't know, get a grip. You can check out Kim Hight, the DA poet on YouTube. Facebook, it's Gangster Prayers on Facebook. Yeah. If you are on Facebook, if you like the social media sites, check her out. Just matter of fact, type in Kim and it's Hight, Hight, and all that stuff should come up, even if you just Google her, and then you'll find all the social media sites, and you can click on and like her page.
Poetry for Entertainment brings up a lot of stuff.
That's it. Okay, Poetry for Entertainment. So for my listening audience out there, if you want to pull that up and you can see who you are looking at, and also on the show, that picture that you guys are looking at for the listening audience, for all you guys who logged on, that is her. That's Kim Hight. I had to put that out there. Hey, if you want in on this conversation, which I was so engrossed in the conversation that I didn't even put the number out there, and I apologize. It's 619-902-2287, 619-902-2287. Call in and voice your opinion live. Also, June 4th, Shop Talk with Mel presents the Battle of the Sexes Luncheon and Day Party, June 4th from 2 to 6 p.m. Tickets are $35. No, you cannot buy a ticket at the door because there is limited seating. All right, now I got that part out.
You know that's the day before my birthday.
Hey, Battle of the Sexes. Battle of the Sexes. You know how we do it. Battle is fun, good for couples, good for singles ready to mingle. You got the cocktail hour. Just have a good time. There's games, and the games are amazing. And they say, how do you have games at an event with a lot of people? It works. And it's fun. And on that, it'll be filmed. So if you're not trying to be in, you will have to sign a disclaimer and say that it's okay. If you don't want to be in my documentary, you do not have to be. You can just sit it, you'll be seated somewhere else. But yeah, we're going to do the live documentary, which is called Brown Skin. that night. Yes, that night we're going to do it. And once we do that, it'll be more like talk show style as well. So you have your Q&A. I do have a speaker on relationships. And if you agree, you can agree. And if you don't agree, you don't have to, because that's what we do. We shop talk. Everybody has a voice, and it's okay to be you. All right, there we go. That's my promotion.
And my promotion is 420. You know, after you come down a little bit on 420, come out to Hayes Hookah Bar. Doors open at 8 o'clock. It's $10 with Granny Boys production. The Returner Say Word. I'll be featuring. And my girl, K. Nico, who is one of my co-workers that used to be my work study student. She can blow, y'all. Y'all follow her, too. KAI_NICO. She can sing.
I let that go, but we don't do that here. We talk about Kim Hight. Look, Art like, no.
I'm sorry. She's going to be singing on the that night with me. So she'll be there. I'll be there. It's $10 per person to get in. Come out and see me feature. And I did it on spring break week. So if you want to make a road trip, if your kids are in school, you can come that week.
All righty. And this is for adults only?
Yeah, it's a bar.
It's a bar. Let me ask again. This is for adults only? Because you are, listen, you can be like, it's a bar. They're total baby in the bar now.
I will find out and I'll post it on my page because I think kids can come.
Is it in, what's the time?
It's at 9 o'clock. The doors open at 8 and it's from 9 to midnight.
No, yeah, your baby's 8.
And it's on a Wednesday.
Your babies, they should be at home.
Yeah. But I'm not going to tell everybody, but I may live stream it. But I want y'all to come, so I ain't going to tell y'all if I'm a live stream it.
All right, you let us know. Let us know.
We'll see.
Yeah, and it's next week?
It's 4/20, April 20th.
Oh, April. Where we at? Oh.
Yeah.
2 weeks,
about a week and a half. It's right.
Look, y'all probably think I'm over here indulging. Like, wait, when is April 20th? What we doing here? Okay, so in 2 weeks. Let them turn up and have a good time. You really be getting snaps and everything.
Right. They may be snapping in
slow motion.
This is exactly what I think I said. 420. Check out Kim Hight, and she's going to be doing her poetry. I do. Oh, hey, how you doing, Window? He said that's my cuz.
Hey, cuz.
You guys, I hope you enjoyed the show, heard what she had to say. I was going to do the Male's Medical Moments, but I'm just going to kind of compile it real quick for Male's Medical Moments. You know, it's allergy season. Please listen. It's going to be hard because, you know, some of the symptoms mimic COVID when you're dealing with the allergies. So wear your mask. That's what I got for you. Wear your mask, even with allergy season. You have to, to water your eyes, and you might say, okay, well, I don't have a contagious disease. You guys know it's another variant that is out there. So be careful. And if you have yet to be diagnosed with allergies, go get checked out. It's better, to be safe than sorry. We don't want you spreading anything. And I don't want you to be sick and thinking it's allergies and not getting the treatment that you actually need. Okay. So people, take care of yourselves, love on one another. And again, I hope and pray that somebody out there was touched. They got a word, because she started off with a word, okay? And heard her say, and hear myself and Art Baldwin when we're talking about, we're looking strange like we haven't experienced some of the things that she actually experienced. So I thank you for coming on, where you have people that will try to discourage you, and the devil is constantly busy, just as she's saying, and she knows who she is, but there may be somebody out there whose head is still low. Lift your head up and understand this. Nobody can tell you no until you tell yourself no. Why? Because it is okay to be you. So lift your head up, stand tall, do what it is you want to do. And permission, never, ever, ever. This is today's footnote. Never, never, ever allow somebody to give you permission to be who you are.
Yes.
All right, lovely people. I thank you. Oh, thank you, Dave. Shout out to you. I thank you for tuning in to Shop Talk with Mel. If you're just now tuning in, you can listen on all social networks to hear us like for a long time, like forever, until it shut down or somebody does something with the electric. See, I'm big on these computers. I'll be like, nah, I ain't get no computer car. You crazy? I need to still go. Okay. So, thank you again for coming on, Kim Hight. Gangster Prayers on Facebook. Kim Hight, DA, the poet, on YouTube. Check her out on Facebook. And check out her podcast that'll be coming up this fall. Okay?
Yeah, y'all like
that. You like that commercial like this coming up this fall. We'll let you know the time and the dates that she'll actually be on. So check out, listen out for that podcast, and listen, don't allow anybody to shut you up. Just get a podcast.
Oh, no, honey.
Get a podcast for the listening audience. Everybody just get one. Listen, if you got one person subscribed to your podcast, yes, you're doing it. And I want to say this for my podcasters out there and the ones that are new. Listen, just because your numbers are not up does not mean that they are not listening. Okay, so don't look at those numbers or get discouraged by those numbers or even your likes on your page. If I only have 20 followers, it's okay. They see you. Don't get discouraged with, I need this many people in order to do A, B, C, and D, or I need this, or one person's listening, or 3 people are listening. Listen, that does not matter. Don't focus on that because people are listening to you. We all have a story. We all have something to say. And if you feel like you want to start something, go ahead and do it. Don't allow anybody to discourage you. All right, I did my part. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people. Shop Top right here on all your favorite podcasts and social media sites. I love you for listening. Peace.